I swear, Pokemon games are just getting better and better. The Pokemon games have always been some of my favourite games, and I've just finished Pokemon Omega Ruby, so now I can talk to you about everything that I loved about it. Now, if you've been following me for a while on this channel, you would know I've already done a review on Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Because I was so excited about Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when I started playing it, I didn't get that far into the game, and then I made a review on it. Mostly just because it was just all new and I wanted to tell you what I thought of it. But I said back then that I would make a video once I'd finally finished the game, and now I have. So this is my review on Pokemon Omega Ruby. I've not yet played Alpha Sapphire, I plan on getting that soon, but this review will be about Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in general. But I assume Alpha Sapphire is a lot like Omega Ruby, just with a couple differences, so I'll talk about both games as a whole. So I thought, because I love making top 5 so much, this will be a top 5 as well as a review. So in this review, not only will I tell you what I thought of the game, but I will also give you my top 5 favourite features of Omega Ruby. Because there were so many just new changes in the game, and I was happy with a lot of them. So before I get into my top 5, let me tell you what I thought of the game. I absolutely loved it. If you watched my last video, you would know I absolutely love 3rd Gen. So when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, I was already excited because it was a remake of a Gen 3 game. And so I also knew when it came out, I would be getting Omega Ruby straight away. It just brings back so many awesome memories of Pokemon Ruby. So I absolutely loved the game. Lots of new features. I just love seeing the whole region that I used to play in, and it's all in 3D now, and it's just amazing. Seeing all the awesome Pokemon that I got to use in the past, and now you got all those new Pokemon in this game as well. So it's pretty much the old game that I love, with a heap more added onto it. So in my last video, I kind of started telling you what my team was at the current time. I had a plan going into the game, what Pokemon I would use. So by the time I got to the Pokemon League, this was my team of 6 that I created. So I had all my Pokemon on my team between level 50 and 60. So it wasn't too hard and it wasn't too easy to do the Elite Four. My team consisted of my Swampert that could Mega Evolve into that awesome bulky Swampert. I named him Cyclone. I had my shiny event Beldum that I had leveled up all the way to Metagross, and I also had Mega Metagross. So he was a shiny Mega Metagross, and he just was awesome. He was my physical attacker because he was an adamant nature, so it means all his physical attack was boosted. So all his attacks were physical. He just dominated over everyone. So I tried not to use him too much, only when I really needed him. I have an Absol, which I named Silverbolt. If any of you recognise the name Silverbolt, it was from Transformers Beast Wars. My favourite character in that, the Transformers Silverbolt. And I just thought the name suited Absol well. I originally called him Doomsday, but then I thought I'm going to call him Silverbolt instead. I just thought it sounded better. My game, I'll do what I want. I had a female Snorunt, which I leveled up, and then once I battled Wally right before the Elite Four, I was able to get the Dawnstone off him, and I used it to make Frostlass. I've always liked Frostlass, I don't know why, and I thought it's a good type combination, Ice and Ghost. Didn't have it on my team already, so I thought why not use a Frostlass because I like it so much. I named it Elsa. I didn't want to name it Elsa because that's what everyone calls it. Anyone doesn't know, Elsa is in Frozen. Everyone loves Frozen. And yeah, I just didn't want to call it Elsa. And anyway, if you look at Frostlass compared to Elsa from Frozen, they're quite different. So I wanted to change the name a bit. So I called it Elsa. I just thought it sounded better. I used Crobat, which I named Nightwing. I'd be surprised if you didn't know who Nightwing was. And then the last member of my team was a Ninetales, which I named Foxflame. See if you can work that nickname out. So throughout playing the game, I had different thoughts on what Pokemon I was going to use. I had a couple of Pokemon I had been raising, then I put them in the PC because I found a new one that I would use. But those 6 I mentioned were the ones I had by the time I got to Elite Four and the Champion, because they were the team I just settled with. I thought it was a good type variety, because you break it down, Swampert is water and ground, you've got Metagross, which is steel and psychic, you got Frostlass, who's ice and ghost, you've got Absol, which is dark, you've got Ninetales, who's fire, and you've got Crobat, who's poison and flying. So if you add it up, that's 10 types. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty good variety of Pokemon. At one point I also had a Mightyena and I had a Breloom. Both of them I'd mentioned in my last video. Both of them I used for a long time, then I had to swap them out for different reasons. So those were the Pokemon I used, got through the Elite Four. So many awesome things happened while I was playing the game. Lots of things surprised me, so many awesome new changes and features to the games, which I shall now tell you more about in my top 5. this is my top 5 new features for Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And yeah, obviously spoiler alert, so watch with caution. I don't want to wreck anything for you. Now, like I said, there were so many things in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that I absolutely loved. So of course there's going to be some honourable mentions. I'll just list like 2 or 3 of them. There's a lot more, but these were the main honourable mentions. One of my honourable mentions is just the story of the game. The story is different to the original Ruby and Sapphire. Like, obviously the story involves Team Magma and Team Aqua, as well as Groudon or Kyogre, depending on what game you play. So it's pretty much all the same characters, and they've also added a couple of new characters into the game. But the story is different to Ruby and Sapphire, and I love that, because I didn't want it to be the exact same story. I liked it being a bit different. Same game, pretty much, but different story. And then you have the Delta episode after you've beaten the Elite Four. And I know people have their issues with the Delta episode. I know I have an issue with that Zinnia. Isn't she a pain in the ass? But I actually enjoyed the Delta episode. You got level 70 Rayquaza, which you did get in Ruby and Sapphire, but still, you got Rayquaza, who I absolutely love. And you also got to get a Deoxys, level 80. Awesome. My second honourable mention is the contests. Because I absolutely loved Ruby and Sapphire, I liked Pokemon contests, so I was kind of annoyed when in future games they didn't really do it as much. Ruby and Sapphire were the main games for Pokemon contests. And you know, Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, contests are back, and even better. The attacks look better when they use them in the contest. And something that completely surprised me, if you hit that 5 stars total excitement, your Pokemon can use an awesome move depending on what type it is. I remember the first time that happened when I was doing the Slayport Cool contest with Mariana, it got to use a special move. It was like on a cliff howling, it had all this darkness around it, it had the full moon in the background. I went nuts when I saw it. I had no idea it was just going to look that awesome. The contests have improved a lot since the last games. Not that the contests in Ruby and Sapphire were bad, I absolutely loved them, but they definitely improved it in these games. My third and final honourable mention for this video is those new little features in the games I absolutely love. One of them being, you actually can ride Sharpedo, not just the normal surf character you can ride. You can actually ride Sharpedo, and he goes even faster than what you usually go. The only issue is that you can't fish when you're riding Sharpedo. Who cares? You're riding a goddamn shark. Who cares if you can't fish on him? You're going twice as fast. Like I said, it's the little things that I absolutely love. So now let's get into my top 5. Number 5, so many legendaries. Seriously, you see how many there are in the game? Obviously, since Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, a lot more legendaries have come around, but far out. Did you see the amount of legendaries in this game? I've nearly got every single legendary on Omega Ruby, and they're so easy to encounter. The only legendaries I don't have is like Mewtwo and the 3 original bird legendaries, because they you only got on X and Y, you couldn't get on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And the other ones being like Lugia and Dialga, because those 2 you can only get on Alpha Sapphire, and I don't have that yet. So it means there were certain legendaries, I can't think off the top of my head which ones they were, but there were certain legendaries you can't go after until you have Lugia or Dialga, because there's certain legendary, because I think it was like Giratina you can't get unless you have Palkia and Dialga. Now I have Palkia, but I don't have Dialga, so it means I can't find Giratina yet. And the same thing went for Ho-Oh and Lugia. I can't remember which Pokemon it was, but there's one Pokemon you can't get unless you have Lugia and Ho-Oh, and I only have Ho-Oh at the moment, so it will happen. Number 4, Super Secret Bases. One of the awesome features in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire that I haven't done any other game is that you can do secret bases. You can make bases in trees, you can make bases in caves. It's awesome! I'd be surprised if there was anyone who actually didn't like secret bases. Like, I know a lot of you would be more into battling, capturing Pokemon and don't worry about bases that much. I'm the same, but when you do something with the bases, it's fun. It doesn't have to be your favourite thing, but when you do it, it's fun. There's a lot of cool features in the bases. There's a lot more stuff you can have in your base this time than in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. So secret bases, it's just something I've always loved. I don't do it all the time, but when I do, it's just really fun. Number 3, heaps of new Megas and Primal Evolutions. Obviously, when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, I already knew about Mega Evolutions because of X and Y. And they started giving new Mega Evolutions, and because of being Gen 3 remakes, they gave a lot of new Megas to Gen 3 Pokemon. So being a Gen 3 fanboy, that was just amazing. Most of the Pokemon I absolutely loved got Mega Evolutions. There were still a couple that didn't, and one day I hope they do. But most of the ones I love in Gen 3 got Mega Evolutions. And then on top of that, they introduced Primal Evolutions for Kyogre and Groudon, and they just looked awesome. So many new Megas, new Primal Evolutions. One thing I love about Mega Evolutions is that it gives Pokemon new typings and new abilities. Look at Sceptile for example. Sceptile was originally just Grass type, and now Sceptile's Mega Evolution is Grass and Dragon. Awesome! I love a Dragon type, so giving a Dragon typing to a starter Pokemon, the only one they've done that with is Charizard X. And for years people have said that Charizard's a dragon, and they finally gave it a dragon typing for one of its Mega Evolutions. I have never recalled me saying that Sceptile looks like a dragon, but they gave Sceptile dragon typing. So that surprised me so much. And then there was other Pokemon they gave typings to, as well as some Pokemon they just gave awesome abilities to. There was just so many awesome changes. I absolutely love Mega Evolutions. There's been so many Pokemon over the years that you see they have their final form, so unfortunately they can only evolve so many times. And then when they get to a certain form, you're like, they can't evolve anymore, and they never will. So when they introduced Mega Evolution and started putting those fully evolved Pokemon up to the next level, who doesn't like that? Number 2, I already kind of mentioned this, but just the new look of the game. I absolutely love a Ruby and Sapphire. So now these remakes, it's the whole region that you've gone around already, but now it's in 3D. Just all the changes, it looks so much better. I absolutely love the new 3D look in X and Y. So when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, I knew they'd do something like that, if not better. So that was just amazing. I love seeing all the old areas that I loved, seeing them what they look like all new. For example, I bet a lot of you were shocked when you saw some of the gyms and how awesome they looked inside. And then you got like the Elite Four and the Champion, and seriously, those battle backgrounds, some of them are just amazing. I absolutely loved it. And to go with this number 2, there's something slightly similar that I just want to include, and that is the soaring in the sky. So not only do you get this new 3D look, but you can actually use an Eon Flute in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Depending on what game you get, you can have either Latios or Latias take you into the sky, and you can fly around and do tricks on it, and it'll take you anywhere. You get the view from up in the air of the whole Hoenn region. So being my favourite region, I was so excited. And while I'm on the topic of soaring in the sky and flying around anywhere you want, you can pretty much fly anywhere you want. Because unlike previous games, you not only can fly to towns, you can fly to anywhere. Any route you want to go to, you just click on the route and it'll take you there. Before you could only go to the town closest to the route you wanted to go to. Now you can actually go to the route itself. I've been waiting for that for so long. So just all the new look to the game, it's just so much better. I could not be happier with the new look. And it's only gonna get better in the years to come. Number 1, the PokéNav Plus. The PokéNav was an awesome feature that was introduced in Ruby and Sapphire. So now in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, of course they had to bring the PokéNav back. Not only did they bring it back, they made it so much better. They've changed the features on it. Obviously you had those like normal things that you could do in other games, like you had the things where you could do like trading, online battles, wonder trades, super training, ME. You can do all those kind of things. But one thing in particular that I absolutely loved and used all the time, I never used any of these other apps. The one app I used all the time was the Dex Nav. I bet a lot of you use the Dex Nav more than anything. The idea of the Dex Nav is it shows you what Pokemon are in certain areas. But not only does it do that, after a while you can actually encounter Pokemon that have higher levels, certain abilities that other ones didn't have, and egg moves. So certain Pokemon that you absolutely love and can find in the wild, you can actually find the exact things that you're looking for in that Pokemon. If there's a certain move that you love, that you know that Pokemon can get through an egg move, keep searching until you find that particular Pokemon with that certain egg move. And on top of it, you might even get a cool new ability. And DexNav is also Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's version of the Poke Radar. If you use it properly, you can find shiny Pokemon. And now I never find shiny Pokemon. I see so many of my friends, so many people that I know, show me their Pokemon games and they just have boxes in the PC full of shiny Pokemon. And I'm like, how the hell do you do that? So I'm proud to say one of the last times I played Omega Ruby, I actually found a shiny. And not only did I find a shiny, there was a certain Pokemon I was looking for and I used the Dex Nav. I found out how to find shinies with the Dex Nav and I did everything right and I found it. I was looking for an Electrike because one of my favourite Pokemon of all time is Manectric. So you can't find a Manectric in the wild, but you can find Electrike. And I absolutely love Manectric's shiny form. So I was looking for a shiny Electrike and then evolve it into Manectric. It was a male Electrike which I was looking for. It had an awesome egg move, had a cool new ability. Everything was exactly what I wanted. I could not have been happier. There is hope for you people who can't find shiny Pokemon. Use the Dex Nav. It's the easiest way I found to find a shiny. Mostly because I never find shinies, and this way I actually found one. It actually didn't take me very long to find the shiny. I found Electrike in less than half an hour. That might sound like a long time for certain people, but it actually wasn't. It was less than 30 encounters. And you can actually tell when you're getting closer to find a shiny. Now, from what I remember, like every 5 times you encounter a certain Pokemon that you're looking for, it's up 10 levels to the previous ones. And after that, it goes up a level, and it just keeps going up. So if you're losing count of how many encounters you're at, just look at the Pokemon's level on the Dex Nav. In certain times, it will be a lot higher than other ones. And yeah, I just kept looking at that, just kept making sure I did everything right, make sure I didn't stuff anything up, and I found that shiny Electrike. Just this new Dex Nav, this is the main thing that's in my number 1. The Pokénav Plus is awesome, has heaps of cool features, but it's that Dex Nav that's just helped me so much in the game. Found so many Pokemon, so many awesome moves. Nearly every single Pokemon that I have, I try to get an awesome egg move on them. I just have a cool heap of Pokemon with new abilities and egg moves, and it's just one of the best features I've ever seen in a Pokemon game. So that's easily my number 1. So there you go, that's my top 5 new features in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So to sum up, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, absolutely loved the game. So much better than Ruby and Sapphire. Like, obviously, Ruby and Sapphire are going to have a special place in my heart for the rest of my life. But Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, or in particular Omega Ruby, will always be one of my favourite Pokemon games of all time. It was just awesome. So I'm easily giving this game a 5 out of 5. There's no other score I could give it. I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. I highly recommend Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you've never played Pokemon before, Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire would be a great way for you to start, and you'll be loving it. And you'll be loving it for years to come when they bring out new games. And if you loved Ruby and Sapphire, you will especially love Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So many good things to like about it. Definitely one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played. So have you played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? What did you think of it? Please let me know any of these new features that you loved, because you'll probably have different ones to what I have. What Pokemon did you just have to have on your team? Did you look for certain Pokemon? There were certain shiny Pokemon that you went looking for. Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. And of course, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.